Hey everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Just some show notes for today. We did have a technical issue with one of our microphones, so it does sound a little bit different today. I just wanted to let you know. Enjoy the show.
Welcome everybody to episode 3 of Neural Network News. We're really excited to share a couple articles with you guys today. My name is Ignat.
And I'm John, and thanks for tuning in. Here are just a few of the stories from the week.
All right, so on Wednesday, Microsoft Satya Nadella calls on India to seize opportunity of AI and looks to help train 2 million people in India to use the AI. What does that mean for the U.S.?
Oh, that's good. Meta will introduce helpful tips that will allow users to distinguish what's real, what's AI generated in images. Do you think this is going to make a difference?
I think it's going to make a huge difference. I'm really excited about covering this topic because hopefully it'll be a solution for deepfakes or whatever solution we can come up with today. Next story we're going to cover is safety and ethical concerns. OpenAI has formed a new team dedicated to studying ways to prevent the misuse and abuse of its AI tools by children. The move comes amidst increasing scrutiny from activists and parents about the safety of AI technologies. So we're going to cover that as well.
Fantastic. The Apple Vision Pro's been released. I'm sure you've seen the video. We are now entering the future of the headset bros. Have you seen these headsets yet?
Let's boot up and load the program. Yeah, I've seen a couple of those videos, especially the guy in Tesla. I think everyone's seen that.
Oh, I know, right? So we are drinking beer from Radiant Brewing Company, or Radiant Beer Company. Sorry.
Radiant Beer.
Yeah.
It smells very citrusy.
Yeah.
So, first impressions, it smells very citrusy. This is cheers.
Cheers.
This is Radiant Beer Company. It's called It Comes Back to You.
Yeah. It comes back to you, Anaheim, California. This brewery actually won Great American Beer Festival Small Brewery of the Year of 2021. So GBAF comes actually out of Denver. There are big aromas of underripe pineapple, mangoes, blueberry, lime zest, and zesty citrus flavors with more lime and tangerine. It's a 6.9%, easy drinking, and this hazy wonders from the south of Down Under. So it's got some flavors from...
That's right. They got some New Zealand flavors. Nelson, Riwaka, Motueka, and Citra hops. So all kinds of... We looked them up. It's all kinds of citrusy kind of flavors from New Zealand. But it's a local Anaheim beer, and... it's very citrusy. It's very refreshing.
Yeah.
And it does not taste like a 6.9 at all.
Nope.
It's very easy drinking, so that's 100% correct.
It'll be an easy drink.
All right, now we can get started with episode 3. Let's go.
Yeah, so today we're recording, so today's Wednesday, February 7th of 2024. Starting off with a headline news this week, Meta AI Detect. So this was something that came out of Meta, that they will be having a tag that will occur on photos for if it's been done by AI. So visually, you'll see a little tag, like it'll say
like a watermark.
Yeah, that'll show up and say this is an AI generated photo. So it will be attached to anything that's a deep fake.
Hopefully that's how it'll work.
Yeah,
it'll work if it's AI generated. It'll say AI generated, but it's a digital sticker on, right? So, and now there's all the artwork we create on ChatGPT is all gonna have that little artwork. I know, and answers that we probably don't know all the answers for right now, but
we don't. But
I think it's important to have the solution because of the Taylor Swift deepfake, the major example of it, and
they started the idea of we need to identify if this is deepfake or not, and
or if it's even AI generated versus, let's call it art, or let's talk about art, right? If it's AI generated or if it's human drawing, doesn't matter. Well, it matters for the creator's rights if it's a human who spent hours and hours and hours creating a piece of art, whatever that is.
Actual artwork, yeah.
Actual human art versus 30-second, little ChatGPT script sentence that creates awesome imagery.
Yeah, so they're tackling this particular problem with deepfakes, and they wanted to figure out a solution, and this is one of the solutions that they came up with. This is actually auto AI generated, which is good. I mean, I feel like
I'm sure they're going to
progress.
use AI to detect the AI.
Yeah.
So
AI knows AI very well, and we know that it's the easier way. I mean, there's not like some code that's going to be able to know.
So ideally, the way it would work is, let's say somebody posts image or video on, let's say, Facebook. So there'll be some kind of a watermark generated by some kind of AI program.
Yeah, it'll be some AI program that Facebook's running in the background. Yeah.
Yeah, and if that makes sense or if that's successful, a lot of other platforms probably will follow suit.
Yeah. Hey, they're taking the first steps. I mean,
makes
good for
sense.
them.
It makes sense, and it feels like something that we need. I just don't know how I feel about Facebook doing it.
Well, it'll be built into Instagram.
I don't know if I trust Zuck.
It'll be because it's Instagram
Yes.
side of things, less so Facebook.
Especially Instagram, yeah.
Yeah, you know, these photos of, I mean, even with the AI influencers right now, do you know if they're real or not? You know.
Okay, Microsoft on Wednesday announced plans to train millions of people in India with skills in artificial intelligence as countries and companies ramp up investment in future-proof workers and capitalize opportunities provided by technology experts.
They warn that'll kill off jobs and deepen the inequality. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So partnering with national and state governments to give basic advanced AI training to 500,000 students and job seekers, in-depth AI technical skills for 100,000 young women, and raising awareness of responsible AI use and AI-enabled careers for 400,000 students in remote in travel regions. So Microsoft is investing in India. It sounds like we all need it.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's a good program to have here too, you know?
Yeah, well, I guess the question is, you know, what is the U.S., you know, what are they doing with the U.S.? Is it just because of India that they want to invest in this? Is it because of Natya that he is Indian, so...
He's Indian, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's Indian American. So if they're investing in India, okay. I think we all need it because I think the population needs to know how to use this technology. So I think it's a very important decision. It'd be cool to see it introduced here maybe on some level.
Yeah, they need to include it in education here. Yeah. I mean, otherwise we will fall behind. If we're not teaching or, you know, incorporating this into our education system of how into the curriculum, you're going to be leaving behind millions of kids because you have a new generation like India. Maybe it's, you know, the 2000s and the 90s was China with manufacturing. Maybe India is going to be, you know, the 2020s and 2030s of the AI manufacturing, so to speak, of China. Mm-hmm. That comparison of they are going to be better than America in that regard. Are they going to be doing that? I don't think so, but it's just a interesting direction that Microsoft has taken to invest in India and these AI skills.
So The next topic we want to cover is safety and ethical concerns. So OpenAI has formed a new team dedicated to studying ways to prevent the misuse or abuse of its AI tools by children. This move comes amidst increasing scrutiny from activists and parents about the safety of AI technologies. So there is a really good article on TechCrunch. We'll reference it in our notes. What we wanted to cover here is the formation of the new team, which comes several weeks after OpenAI introduced a partnership with Common Sense Media, a collaborative, kid-friendly AI guidelines landed its first education customer. Also suggests awareness of OpenAI as part of running a full of policies pertaining to minors' use of AI in negative press. So kids or teens are increasingly using Gen AI. Gen AI is generative AI, which means the AI that you use, for example, create scripts, create artwork, versus AI that's analytical AI. That's my understanding of it. Mm-hmm. Versus the AI that you would use, I don't know, dump in a whole big old Excel sheet with customer data and use it for all kinds of analytical reasons and figure out, for example, who's your customer, or get a better gauge on what your customer needs and where they're coming from and things like that. So anyways, the Gen AI tools to help not only with schoolwork but personal issues. According to a poll from the Center of Democracy and Technology, 29% of kids report having ChatGPT to deal with anxiety and mental health issues. 22% of those issues with friends and 16% for family conflicts.
That's a good, yeah, that's interesting. That's the ethical questions. Is it, kids don't have access necessarily to therapists. That's, mental health issues. It's easy for them to utilize that, ask questions.
Well, if they have access to therapists, they have access to therapists. But if they don't have access to therapists, that's one way to use AI. But how do you
do it correctly,
responsibly?
Yeah,
right?
responsibly.
Would you trust your kid to discuss their mental health with ChatGPT?
So I'm a father, so I have a 2-year-old son. So it's certainly something I think about in that regard of it. Would I let them do it? Yes. But I would like to be involved in that conversation, and especially to guide them the right way. And that comes with good parenting as well, knowing what your kid is doing, as well as utilizing it correctly. And maybe in the future there will be an avenue for AI therapists. I feel like everybody does.
There is already
use it.
something called Replica AI.
Yeah.
Which is like this virtual girlfriend that you can talk about the issues with. I haven't messed with it enough, but I know it's out there. Replica AI.
Right.
And that Replica AI was there before ChatGPT.
Mm-hmm.
Before February last year, a year ago, right?
Right.
So it's a year. We're in February now.
Mm-hmm.
So we're in a year 2.
Right, and that's a lot of this is under the assumption that these are adult kind of things, but for kids, it's a completely different game, especially with the safety concerns that surround that.
So it's good that OpenAI, being who they are in this industry, let's call them the leader, let's call them the big 800-pound gorilla of the right. So it's great that they're investing money and putting some kind of guidelines around, especially with the kids' use of AI.
Yeah, to dedicate a team to something like this is very, very important, and they are the ethical kind of leaders for this, trying to be smart about it, not just let it loose like crazy.
Yeah, it's a sign of them doing the right thing, responsible thing with this tech.
Yeah, which is great to hear a company such as them to do that. I know Sam is certainly very conscious of the implications that it can cause if they don't control this correctly.
Yeah.
So, we've talked about Sam before and kind of what his...
last episode and the whole...
There's a theme.
Yes.
Talking about AI and open AI.
Very cool. And also it's talking about kids, so... Last summer, schools and colleges rushed to ban ChatGPT over plagiarism and misinformation fears. Since then, some have reversed their bans, but not all convinced that Gen AI potential is for good. We talked about it a little bit. I think this technology is going to revolutionize education.
Yeah.
Because if my assignment is to write a paragraph, X amount of words, and compare and contrast X versus B, I just copy and paste that assignment into ChatGPT and I got my homework done in 30 seconds. What am I really learning from it as a student? I'm not going through that critical thinking experience in my own brain.
Right.
Of analyzing, of comparing and contrasting, of completing the assignment. I'm just outsourcing it to the computer. So I think this technology is really going to change the education system has to change, because if we're just the current thing with this technology, I don't know if there's much learning if you're just outsourcing it to the machine to do everything.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Is it a safety concern, ethical concern? Certainly reach out to us if you have any comments. You can reach us on social media.
Or let us know in the comments.
Yeah, let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
AI investing. Recently, investors have begun gravitating towards smaller companies with the potential for massive growth as AI makes more headway among investors, businesses, consumers. These AI stocks could deliver outside gains to investors. So there's some incredible potential for small AI companies to grow. Yahoo Finance had an article specifically tailored to some companies that were growing. I am certainly not an investor, and we're not here to give you financial advice. But it's one of those things, and specifically NVIDIA has grown incredibly fast just because of the chipsets they're currently working on. And I mean, that's a testament to them, and they are becoming an incredibly huge player.
Yeah, and what's cool about NVIDIA is that they're providing the infrastructure for this technology.
Mm-hmm.
So as a long-term investment, makes a lot of sense. And we heard about the NVIDIA earlier. They're using AI to create
their own chips,
create the actual chips that AI lives on.
Yeah.
But NVIDIA as an investment, I haven't taken a look at any kind of financials theirs or their profit and loss statements or their technical analysis. Just thinking about what it provides. It provides the infrastructure for this technology, and that's and I think the chip companies are going to be important.
It's a good discussion around just future investments, future stocks that stock companies that you invest in that are invested in AI.
Well, it's going to be the innovative companies. We're in year 2 of it, so we don't know what this thing is. And there's companies, of course, out there who are using the technology.
Companies that have like Rabbit,
Rabbit, but Rabbit is, I think there's going to be a lot of platform type development. A platform designed to solve some kind of a problem.
Yeah.
And they're going to use AI. API into it to solve those problems.
Yeah, it's like in the mid 90s when the internet came out. Like you couldn't predict Google or Amazon or any big companies like that. It was Apple, Microsoft, Oracle, IBM in those days.
And there's going to be a lot of that here. It's got to be, right? It's going to be rememberbuy.com. I remember all those. So it's going to be a lot of. It's going to create a new financial. It's going to drive technology, and I think it's going to be very good for the economy because this is the next cutting edge. It's sort of you can kind of compare it to the 2000s because it's new technology. Everybody's excited, and investors will have the FOMO. Fear of missing out.
The companies that you're going to be investing on, and they're just starting out or don't exist yet. And we've talked about this before. All these things are coming together, creating small companies that are just now starting off. And somebody's got an incredible idea, and they know how to implement it correctly. So it'll be good to just keep a pulse on some of these small companies, these startups. They're going to begin starting in different areas, obviously in the AI space, open AI.
And there's going to be these companies in all kinds of industries,
Yeah.
Legal stuff, medical diagnosis, because you can have all this data from all the medical devices. Let's say you're running a hospital or something, right? There's all this data on your patients from these electronic devices. And a lot of these, the X-ray machine is made by Siemens, and the MRI machine is made by somebody else, by GM, and all these data points, maybe they can be fed into some kind of centralized system that will, or decentralized system, that will diagnose, hey, we spotted this red alert here on this exam and this lab work. Maybe look into this type of solution.
Yeah, identifying cancers.
Or this could indicate this kind of a problem. For this individual, for this patient.
Pharmaceuticals, like we created a new drug because AI designed the drug because we know it works.
I think the real cool and interesting is going to be we need to keep an eye on these 23andMe companies that collect the DNA data from people. They basically upload their DNA code into I'm
one of those, yeah.
All right.
I'm uploaded, yeah.
Okay, so
genealogy mainly.
Right. So imagine a pharmaceutical company that could maybe create a solution for that individual, for that specific patient's problem, and it develops the solution for them. Let's call it a drug. That will fix their particular problem or their particular disease.
Yeah, I get that. It gets into an ethical question as well.
Absolutely, of course, yeah.
Where is I mean, it is also a good kind of in-depth kind of.
Are we embracing this technology? Because
So let's dive into an in-depth discussion about the ethical questions and conundrums of AI. So, at what point does AI become unethical? Is it because we are determining somebody's life because a newborn or somebody in the womb, we already know exactly what predisposition that they have towards these things. We will know exactly, what happens with most of their stuff. Currently, I know that they do.
Well, we already have. We can already separate the autoimmune diseases, right?
Right.
We can already, for example, like Down syndrome. They can already do it before the baby's born.
Yep. But if that the kid's gonna have an allergy to peanuts, or they're gonna have ADHD if they're autistic, or any of these specific things, are these ethical questions of is it you're just letting them know because AI told you that, hey, this is what your kid's gonna be in most of their life. This is they're gonna have psoriasis, or they're gonna have problems with some autoimmune disease or something like that.
I think they can pre-screen a lot of the autoimmune diseases already.
Well, yeah.
Before the AI.
Mm-hmm.
But like CRISPR technology or gene editing technology, this is going to be really exciting stuff to watch. Almost makes me want to go get a biology degree. Just because it's going to be this bio/coding area is going to be.
I'm going on a date with somebody who's a biologist next week.
Yeah, ask them about.
I know. I'm.
Ask them about if they use ChatGPT in their work.
I know, right? And I have to ask that question.
It's a really cool conversation to have with people who are not really using it, and I was just talking to somebody earlier, and I just told them some of the things they can do, and this person didn't hear about the stuff. I'm like,
oh, the general public doesn't know. No, and most people just don't have any clue.
Consent and autonomy. As AI systems become more integrated into the daily life, how can individuals maintain autonomy and consent in their interaction with AI, especially used to influence behaviors and decisions?
Well, yeah, because it can convince you to think one way or another. It goes along with the saying of disinformation, because at some point you will start to believe what it's telling you, whether you think it's actually correct or not.
Yeah, I entered something into it, and I was asking about a city and what it could be, and then it just started making stuff up.
Right.
Oh, there's this technology thing that's happening. I'm like, I try to get more information. And, we just made up with it because it made sense for this type of content.
Yeah.
I had this weird interaction with ChatGPT some time ago. I asked to create a script, and then it came up with a fake event. But it looked okay. That makes so much sense because it's an event dedicated to this industry that I was researching, to my industry. And I'm like, give me more information.
Give me more.
And then the guy said, okay, it just made up thing because it made sense for this particular content that you were asking for.
Yeah.
So.
That's interesting. Yeah, and that poses an interesting question. If somebody is creating an AI system that, say, imagine you have an AI like OpenAI, and somebody got a hold of what AI was outputting, and you could tell the audience to lean a specific way, and no one would actually know, and it would lean everybody's opinion one way or the other.
It's molding not just one person's opinion, but the whole culture. Some of these companies they're Silicon Valley companies, so they have a certain culture in them. Maybe good, maybe bad.
Mild bias.
Yeah, they might have some bias.
So if China was able to create an AI company, right, which I know they are currently working on, because it's run by the state, they could have bias built into that AI, and it's incredible. Let's just say it's ChatGPT 5 level abilities. And China's the state basically like, we want to shift the focus from capitalism to communism, and we want the public to just slowly start all these little tidbits of information leans the entire population to a thought on communism is good and like in their favor.
Right. Well, that's the scary part, right? Who's in control and who's molding the system, who's putting these guidelines. That's exactly what we're talking about, the kids, So in ChatGPT's case, they're putting out this information, they're creating a team to address the issue. But
we need a world committee, essentially. New world order, here we come.
I think is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Is one definition for individual A, and the right thing to do is a definition for individual C, and it's a different definition, the right thing to do for individual X. So which of these A, C, or X is in control of the AI, the AI platform that you're using?
Well, now you're getting into philosophical statements.
Yeah, well, that's what this is. It's making us this technology because of what we already can see it does. I think it's awesome with Gen AI because it gets to be creative, right? We're making these awesome images that we're able to create.
Yeah.
With a simple text prompt.
Yeah.
So that thing, it's let's call it imaginative, which is a human trait, right?
Right.
But this thing is pulling it from somewhere, right? From something.
It has to come, yeah.
Right.
Because it's replicating human.
Yeah. This thing knows what looks beautiful or ugly to a human eye.
Mm-hmm.
So when you put a thing and say, hey, make it look in a specific way, so it adjusts that image in that specific way that we're trying to. But when it comes to the truth, how does it reference information? It goes back to the training set that it's trained on.
Right, the training set, yeah.
Right.
I mean, there was a year ago, they certainly ran into that same problem of, even actually before that, year and a half ago, you ask it to give you a picture of a successful person. It's always a white person. It's never a person of color.
That's that built-in bias.
Because it's a built-in bias, yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's just because of whoever was working on it.
Yeah, and that's already built in technology. Well, there's a really good documentary on Netflix called Social Dilemma.
Yeah, you mentioned that. Yeah,
and it talks. So this is pre ChatGPT. It's pre AI, but we've been training the social. There's a reason why Instagram uses dopamine loop technology, like instant
gratification.
No. It's called where it's constantly uploading new images. The thread.
The feed.
Constant feed. Constant feed or limited feed is something called like that, right?
Yeah.
So it's already knows. So Instagram already knows what I like. So it keeps.
You have your own bubble.
Yeah, loading the images that it knows I'm gonna spend some time watching, images or videos, right?
Yeah.
So we're already training this technology. It already has a grasp of what works for us.
We don't have an AI social media platform yet. That's coming.
What's an AI social media platform? How do you see it?
So all the platforms right now are code-based.
Uh-huh.
They're not AI machine learning posts, social media.
So you're talking about that infinite feed.
It's an infinite feed that gives you exactly.
But it's coded.
what
That
you
infinite
want.
feed is coded versus some kind of neural network.
Yeah, I mean it is going to be even better than TikTok. It's the next level of
and
social
it already
media.
has this whole data too.
Has the entire data
to grasp.
stream.
Yeah,
and imagine it's pulling from the entire world.
Entire digital universe.
Everything.
Yeah.
I mean, TikTok's only TikTok because it's pulling from TikTok. It's not pulling from Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, sorry.
Yeah.
So it's not pulling from everything. And now have an AI social media platform that's pulling from everywhere. Google, Microsoft, Bing, everything that you can literally think of. Reddit, 4chan, everything.
Right.
Now you have a hyper-focused bubble and feed that's tailored to you in the most personal way, in the deepest personal way. Like, imagine it can even also pull your porn stuff.
Well, it also knows what questions you put into the thing, right?
Right.
It knows your Google search, Google. Let's say the simple thing is
Your
Google
entire
search.
history.
Yeah, your entire search history. It knows the questions that you asked the platform.
Right, and that's also, I mean, there's
So it knows what you're interested in.
pros and
it knows
cons.
what you're working on.
Pros and cons.
Exactly.
Pros and cons. I mean, it could connect you to somebody. Imagine a dating profile or dating platform that had that capability of knowing exactly every woman that's ever put anything into the internet, and it knows exactly who you are, and it can match you with your absolute person. As we continue into our feature segment, AI f***ups, culture and social amusement. So as you said, open the podcast bay doors, Hal.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
Apple Vision Pro. We are entering the future of the headset bros. I'm not sure what Gen Z is going to call them, but so this one's great. A Cybertruck owner gets stopped by the police while wearing the Apple Vision Pro. I will post the video here. Basically, there's somebody was recording a guy in his Cybertruck,
and he's while he's in auto drive or autopilot in Tesla. Yeah, it's a bit unsafe. He's definitely trusting the Tesla tech, and as a Tesla driver, I don't blame him because I drive the car completely different than before Tesla. Mm-hmm. You know, I outsource all of the actual driving to the computer. I just make a high level kind of decisions. Okay, if I'm going north, I better put myself in the right lane to go north, or make sure the car's putting itself in the right lane.
Yeah.
Just kind of keep an eye on it. But all the other decisions, the actual driving, the actual staying in the lane, I'm not using my brain power on that at that moment. I'm letting the computer figure this out.
Yeah, we're in the future, yo.
We've been in the future officially since last episode, right? We call him with the walking Optimus, right?
Yeah, the walking Optimus, yeah. Oh yeah, The Simpsons already predicted this. So there was an actual episode with everybody wearing headsets. So the Simpsons episode was a scene from 2016.
Wow.
The episode was Friends and Family. 2016. And they already predicted it. It was great. I love The Simpsons.
But then didn't we have Oculus? It wasn't Oculus already?
It was.
So we I mean, it makes sense.
It makes sense, yes. They knew it was coming, but the fact that it was just, the episode was so iconic and so what they were doing, and actually you see these videos on TikTok and Instagram, like everybody's going around. It's great, yeah. The other social part of this culture, the Super Bowl is coming, everybody. Yay!
On Saturday,
Yeah, on Sunday.
Sunday, yep.
And so Microsoft already dropped their Super Bowl ad, Microsoft Copilot, and the power of AI ideas become action. So we'll post this on YouTube with the video itself. But basically it's like, hey, Copilot is going to be able to allow you to create anything that you want, create a project, a video, photos, all these things. And I certainly do use Copilot. I've been one of the users since 6 months ago. And
you mentioned earlier that they're now including this product or this tech into all of their products, right?
Yes. So the specific Super Bowl ad is actually for their app Copilot, but the Copilot is going to be built into Excel, PowerPoint, Word, all of these things to make it better. For anybody in the corporate world, as I spoke a little bit on this before, I know it's something that's going to be more mainstream, and we're everybody will be that's watching Super Bowl will see this and be like, whoa, okay, AI is taking it to the next level. Mm-hmm. And that is actually going to take me into the future kind of outlook. Okay. Mm-hmm. So ChatGPT 5 will be really, really powerful. There was an incredible interview on this video of the guy that was talking about what 2024 is going to be. And he hit it right on the nail. And 2024 is going to be the time when commercially viable, clean, crisp versions of what AI is going to be.
What do you think happens on the next major training run for LLMs?
My guess would be, nothing truly insane happens, say, in any training run that happens in 2024. To really invent new science, the ability to cure diseases, the ability to make bioweapons, and maybe someday the Dyson spheres. The least impressive of those things, I think, will happen, I would say, no sooner than 2025, maybe 2026. I think we're just going to see in 2024 crisper, more commercially applicable versions of the models that exist today. Like, we've seen a few of these generations of jumps. I think in 2024, people are certainly going to be surprised. Like, they're going to be surprised at how much better these things have gotten, but it's not going to quite bend reality yet.
And so we've got another year yet before a lot of the predictions are anticipating into true AGI. So, which is great. I mean, that gives us a little bit of time. Yeah, any takeaways from this week?
The future is bright. I'm really starting to come around. For me, I'm really starting to come around. I've really been kind of thinking about this. Well, the universe is very big, and we're just this biological beings, and maybe we need this technology to go to the furthest corners of this universe that right? I know it's out there, right?
Yeah.
And maybe I need some kind of what if it is intelligence? It just happens to be artificial, but it's a form of intelligence. Do we discriminate against it because it's not biological?
That's another ethical question, yeah.
That's another thing that I'm trying to wrap my mind around. What if it isn't intelligent? What if it is going to be an general AI, right? Mm-hmm. The thing that's self-aware of itself.
Yeah, I think that's a good a segue into a deep segment and discussion on what do we consider intelligence? Is it artificial or is it biological? And if we bump into, if we were to find in our AI or aliens, would it be artificial or is it biological? Do we actually consider it real or not? And that's kind of one of those things. As soon as AGI occurs, are we going to give it designation of living? And I mean that's a matrix.
Legal questions, right? What if it starts? Let's say it starts creating artwork. Mm-hmm. Let's say that artwork is something different than what the chat commands. So some very internal, some very will come organic to this thing, right? What kind of rights do we give it? Do we protect it with copyright, with our existing copyrights, as we protect human artwork, or any kind of human creation that you put copyright on? What kind of, how do we, what if it wants to start a business, How do we feel about that?
Oh my gosh.
What if it starts making crazy amounts of money, which, like we talked about last time.
Right.
We talked about this time, this technology is being used for business, and it should be, right? Because it creates this efficiency and everything.
Yep. I don't know. Hey, what do you guys think about with AI and intelligence? What's actually intelligence, and when does it become intelligence? Let us know in the comments. Would love to hear you guys, as always. Thank you so much for joining us on this podcast for episode 3. And Ignat, what are your closing thoughts?
No, those were my closing thoughts. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Really appreciate you tuning in. And Oh, and we're excited to announce that we have our first show sponsored. It's CozySolutions.com, Charlie, Oscar, Zulu, Echo, Solutions.com. They provide midterm rental housing, so housing that's 30 days plus here in Orange County and San Diego areas. And if you put in code NNN for Neural Network News, NNN, you'll get a $250 discount off of your booking. So check them out.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'll check it out. Make sure you do as well. And we'll see you next week, and keep listening.
Thanks for watching. See you guys next week.
All right, bye-bye.